Hey, I'm Trang. I'm a baker at Blue Hill at Stone Barns, and today we'll be making some focaccia together. For the focaccia, I have the oil and the water at 78 degrees scaled out, our flour, our salt, and our yeast. I'm putting the water and the oil into the bowl first, the yeast over the top, and the salt. Then I'll add all of the flour at one time. We're gonna use a hook attachment for the KitchenAid mixer. Once all of the ingredients are in the bowl, I'm going to start the mixer on stir, just until all of the ingredients have combined into one. At this point, I'm going to turn off my mixer and just take a bowl scrape and bring all of this extra flour into the center so that our dough has an easier time mixing together. And now I'll take it to speed 2. What we're looking for is for all of the flour to be hydrated in with the wet ingredients. What we want is for the bowl to be cleaned by the dough. So here the dough has completely come together in terms of the flour fully hydrating, but you can see that it's still pretty shaggy. So this is gonna take about 10 to 15 minutes to come together fully. So as you can see, the dough is nice and supple in the center. We're gonna take a little bit from the side and just slowly pull your window pane. And now we're seeing it stretch, which is perfect for focaccia. There you go. That's what we're looking for. And I'm gonna take our dough with my hand. I'm just gonna round it out and place it into an oiled bowl and cover it with plastic. So in front of me, I have the well-rested dough. It's been about 30 minutes. I'm going to just lubricate my hands with the olive oil. It helps give us a little bit of a barrier between the dough and ourselves. The dough is a little sticky because it is so hydrated. What I'm gonna do is start at the top and just start tucking the dough in, picking it up, stretching it out, and tucking the dough in all the way to the bottom of the dough until we get a nice round taut surface. What the folding is doing is it's helping us continue to develop the strength on our dough. So if you feel like it's strong enough, I would stop at one fold. If it needs another fold, by all means, give it another fold. So here we have the fully proofed dough ready for us to divide and place into our sheet trays. For me, it took about 30 minutes between the last fold and this stage because it's quite warm in this kitchen. But if your kitchen's a little drafty or cold, I would hold off until you see this nice bounciness that you're seeing here. So I'm just going to take the dough and using my bowl scrape, place it onto this table. At home, you might want to use some flour, dust the table before doing that. I'm gonna prep my pans with a little bit of olive oil, just enough to cover the surface. And then we're gonna take the dough that we made and divide it in half. Each of these trays should be about 500 grams of dough. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna start to round it out using a bench scrape or metal scraper. I'm using my hands to hold the dough. The bench scrape is going in a C motion, tucking the right hand side of the dough underneath the left hand. It's a gentle motion. The other half, I'm gonna show you how to do it with just your hands. Just be quick about it. If you need to, lubricate your hands with a little oil and balling it underneath. Just really gently, and then placing it into our pans. Once we have it in the pan, flip them over, press it out a little, one more flip, and this just degasses our dough as well as starts the shaping on our focaccia. I'm going to let the dough rest for 15 minutes before coming back. I'm gonna give it one more stretch just to fill out this entire pan. I'm gonna take my fingers and really dimple in. This will help us get rid of all the large bubbles in the dough and distribute all of the nice air bubbles. And I have some beautiful cherry tomatoes. And I'm just gonna take the cherry tomatoes, like my fingers, really dimple it into the dough. A little bit of salt. And we're gonna let this rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. While that's resting, I have an oven set at 500 degrees. The dough is nice and rested, and we're gonna go into the oven. All right, so it's been about 10, 15 minutes. I'm gonna go into the oven with an offset spatula. What we wanna see is a nice golden bottom before pulling it out of the oven. So I'm seeing that now. That's exciting. I'm gonna come over to my cooling rack. I'm gonna use this spatula to take the focaccia out of the pan right away so that we keep our nice crisp bottom. I've waited about like 10 minutes, but the smell is getting to me. So we're gonna cut it and see what it looks like. So what we want to see, yes, there's a random large hole, but what we want to see is like even holes in well distributed, really light, fluffy. You can see that in there. I like tomatoes on my focaccia. Really simple. The tomatoes get a little blistery. And that's focaccia.